Welcome. It is 6 o'clock. It is the 7th of the 3rd, which if you add together is 10/2024. I'm Pom in Oz, Dan, or any four-letter word you can throw at me. Not too sure why four-letter word I use, because that opens up an avenue, Pandora's box of skullduggery. But as always, this is Teams, this is Blue Abroad, we are live. I am joined by my other half, my better half, my internet husband/wife, great mate of mine, great human being, the Leckus of the Doggers variety. How are we doing?
Bommy, we are back, baby. It's a big year for us. It's a big year for the Blues, and we're back again. This is our third. Well, if you're not subscribed to Pommy and Oz, what are you doing with your life? This is our third or fourth stream this week, Pom. It's bloody exciting. You know, footy's back.
Yeah, well, I mean, Let Dog and me had a conversation about September last year, and Let Dog was retiring from YouTube. And the first week of the football, I've just... Let Dog's like Michael Jordan. He's going to have to put a post up saying, I'm back.
I did consider it, but honestly, I didn't leave long enough to justify it. So I'd retired from Supercoach, footy, writing, and everything. And then I'm doing 6 shows, writing articles, and basically consuming more football content than I ever have. So it was a terrible attempt.
Well done, Let Dog. Do you know what I mean? Well done. Hey, mate, only quitters quit, bruh. And you are not a quitter. Well, we're here to talk about... I mean... I'm excited, which is a good sign. If I'm positive, that's a good sign. Obviously, very energetic today, but Carlton are playing Brisbane Lions, the runners-up, the grand bridesmaids, we'll call them. They are the reigning bridesmaids at the moment. Carlton, obviously, you've only got to go on Twitter, Instagram, Google. Do you know what I mean? Probably your uncle is complaining about the Blues at the moment. But Carlton have got a few teams, few players out. That's all right. Do you know what I mean? As my granddad used to say, what did you want me to do on the beach, son? Sit there and cry my cup of tea and get shot? Or did you want me to jump and run at them? Right? There it is. But what are we feeling like, chat? Let Dog, tell me. We've got you early in the season, so you are positive. But Let Dog, against Brisbane... Everything is stacked against us. What are you hoping to see from the Blues?
It's a fantastic question. Obviously, I'd love to see us come out and throw a few punches. I'd love to see what we saw in quarter one of that prelim against the Lions and hopefully sustain it. I'm aware that the defense has some holes in it, but I think broadly we're missing Sam Walsh. If our midfield can win the contest, we're going to get enough service into the forwards, we'll be able to put up a score. I just don't know if we'll be able to defend it. I went through and I did my ladder predictor before we jumped on. I went on to Squiggle. I did every single game for the year. And I mean, maybe I'm biased. I probably am, but I had us top 4. But then again, I had us in a prelim last year before the season started and everyone told me I was an idiot. So top 4, let's go out. Let's throw a few punches. And Pom, I know this is going to sound like a bit blasé. I'm not too... The round was 0... ridiculous. Round 0 isn't going to justify our whole season or determine our whole season. The result of game 1 doesn't affect the result of games 20 or 2 through 22 or however many games we play now.
Mate, I'm habitual of putting my name into everything, Pom. I've been calling it round Pom's first time because I reckon that was a 0 out of 10. So it's definitely under a minute. Hopefully the round lasts longer than that. But we've got some great answers in chat. We've got 65 plus tackles from Terry. Le Prez, if you're French. Hey, don't ever tell me I'm uncultured. Tell you. Give us a chat. Give us your others. Shane, always good, mate. Our contest and clearance game will smash the Lions. And that's what will win us the game. You know what I'm looking forward to seeing, right? And I reckon the Blues are going to be up against it. We know that their midfield is strong, Brisbane's. They're going to be up and about, aren't they? They're going to be, their peacock tails are going to be flapping. Nearly said something else than I edited myself. But I reckon we're going to see our transition game. You know, I've got a real feeling this week, right? Should we win, when we win, the talk is going to be Carlton's ability to counterpunch. And I think there's a man there we haven't seen for 18 months, right? He's got an absolute splendid surname. decent beard, right? Takes the game on. I reckon we're going to see Mr. Zachy Williams and Adam Sard take the pina colada out of that defensive 50 and take it to the Lions. Because I think the pressure's on them. The pressure's on the Lions. The Lions are walking into this at $1 almost. They are the heavyweight champions. They are the Tyson Fury. We are the Francis Ngannou, right? We've got a puncher's chance, but you know what? All you've got to do is land that punch. And if you've ever been in a street fight, all you've got to do is land it. It's all you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if we follow the advice of some of our fans, we may as well not rock up to the game. I think you're right. I think have a crack. Williams is an exciting one. It's not just the pace he brings to the game, but it's the decision making he brings. And I don't think he's going to be too scared to make those hard kicks. We see Mitch McGovern do it sometimes. And Zachy Williams likes taking on the challenger kicks, and he's not afraid to stuff up. But I think that adds an element to us that he's going to go corridor and he's going to try and take the game on. And hopefully, between him and Boyd, we can free up Sardi as well to make some moves up the ground. And I think that dynamic trio, we'll call it that, is going to be very, very delicious to watch.
My pop used to say you should fear no one that bleeds like a human and had their bum wiped by their mum as a baby. No one on the planet should be feared. I don't think these boys will fear. And you know what? It's a great test of strength, because I think as well, as some of the answers come in, I love some of these answers. Williams and Sard combo, look out. I agree. Big game for Haz. Average 4 goals a quarter. I like that, Andy. Hey, Andy, I froth a little bit of a stattery. Fast ball movement, says. Good day to you. Hope you're doing well, says. Pomtasia plays his 100. Let's talk about that. Pomtasia. I actually went back and evidently I slagged Pomtasia off when he played for Essendon. That's fair enough.
I certainly have slagged him off.
All right, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? We can all change, mate. We can all change. But Pomtasia makes his 100th game. Carlton not very good with milestones. But this is a big game for Pomtasia, isn't it? We've gone in, we've given him a chance. Vossi said, come home, come back to daddy. He's back with daddy. And you know what? If we can get even 75% of the best of Pomtasia, he is everything that we've craved for, and he is everything I've hoped for. I'm in a ridiculously good mood.
I like it. It has been a while. I know we've had some good small forwards of late. We've had Matt Owies and the Brigade. We've got Motlop as well. But Fantasia, he's been in the system quite a while. We haven't had someone like him who can just make the most of moments in quite some time. And I think we talked about it last night on the show, Pom. Vossi's going to keep him engaged with some time up around the ball, up around stoppages in our forward half. So I think he's going to keep him engaged. And you only need little bits out of him. Do I think he's going to do it consistently? No, but I don't think we can expect that out of any small forward on the list. I'm excited to see him. I was hoping Sam Walsh and him would both play this game because they would have both reached 100 games at the same time, and one was about 8 years younger than the other one, but it wasn't to be. I'm excited to watch it. It is nice to debut in a milestone. It's a bit of an odd one. I'm just trying to think of Sam Rowe had his 100th game when he moved to St Kilda. I think it was the only game he played for them.
Kilda, he did. Yeah, debut is an interesting one because Australians love saying debut weirdly, don't they? Debut.
It's debut.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of us invented the language, and I agree. I concur with my esteemed colleague. It's debut, but I'm probably the worst at speaking the own language. Good one from Terry. If Owies is named, it'll be his 50th. That's insane because Matty always feels like he's been around longer than Betty White.
Yeah. I mean, Matty Owies has been around quite a while. He's just was on a rookie. He might still be on a rookie list. Who understands how that works anymore? But I mean, he went to college and competed there, and then came home. So he's been around a little while.
Hey, he feels like he's been. It feels like only yesterday Terry interviewed him. Yes. You know what I mean? Terry interviewed him. As a little whippersnapper. He was a little basketballer.
None of us would have thought he was going to play games back then. Like, there's no way you thought, this guy's going to play 50 AFL games. There's just no way.
Mate, I've got to give a shout out as well to a good mate of mine. Andy brings him up. Pom Cotter. The Pom Cotter dilemma. Fast becoming... He's close to overtaking Charlie in my love. I've got to say, he's old Pom Cotter. I do love a bit of Pom Cotter. But you know what? We were talking about this yesterday on the team show, which was a great success with Bucky and Paolo. And we were chatting, and that's one area I thought in the practice games, I thought was the most, I wouldn't say alarming, but the more worrying factor for me was when the ball hit the deck in the forward 50 and our defensive 50, we looked lost at times. It felt like we were always second to the ball. Is that an area we saw Pom Cotter? He was on the plane. He looked happy, which would be an indication that maybe he's been told something we don't know. But that I actually think that might be the answer for Carlton going in here with the extra defender and looking to try and get Kemp, Sard into that more advanced role, particularly Boyd. We saw Boyd and Kemp play that advanced role around stoppages. Could that be an answer there for Carlton to try and hit them on the counter a little bit?
It's an interesting one. I want to see how they line up in defence because presumably we're going to take one of the fullbacks and Young Durden. We assume, or we're pretty confident Boyd, Sard, and Williams will play. There's 4 defenders. McGovern will play. There's 5 defenders. And then it's sort of Kemp, Chincotta, Cowan are the other 3. You're probably getting 2 of those. I don't mind Chincotta being in the team. I didn't have him in my team last night, but the more we spoke about it, and as a collective, I thought, geez, maybe we need one of these medium sort of guys that can play taller or play smaller if need be as that sort of 7th defender. So I think there's a real good chance that and I think that photo they tweeted out, I don't think that would be an accident. I suspect he's probably playing. And I really like it as an opportunity for us. And if he can help bring the ball to ground or keep the ball at ground or win the ball at ground level and find one of our runners, I'm with you. I think there's some transition opportunities there.
Sean, my good man, great surname as well, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Hopefully you're related to him. What an icon of sport he is. 6:20, my good friend, 6:20. So you've got another 7 minutes of us talking Baba for 7 minutes. That is a very good northern word. Very good northern word. A few people asking about, where was it? Mighty Blue 7, Rucks. Rucks have really been in the press quite a bit. And quite a bit in the chat. Are we a Pitternet? Are we a Pitternet and TDK? I did see someone the other day say he played Murkoff and TDK. I think that was Murkoff's dad.
Must have been.
I'm going to put a caveat out there. I am pro TDK in this game and McKay pinch hitting in this game purely because the club confirmed Pitternet was on managed minutes. So if we go 1 ruck down before round 1, even I might start having a little chink in my pom armour of confidence. I like to know we've got backups. But this game, Danaher, we know he rucks as second ruck. We know Oscar McInerney, as good as he isn't exactly, ooh, wow, is he? Is this the week that we say, TDK, time to be the big dog?
I mean, we talked about this last night. I don't think so. I want Pitto and TDK in. I've been hearing whispers that Pitto's not going to see game time before our first bye. I don't know how true that is, given he hasn't been on the injury list at all. But I suspect he's going to play. I suspect he's probably going to get subbed out. But I want him to wear down Oscar McInerney as long as possible. And then I want TDK to come in and sort of finish the job. I don't know. I don't mind if Pitto's the one that gets worn down wrestling, because I think TDK can, we know he can jump over the top of Joe Danaher. I'd love to see him jump over the top of a slightly weary Oscar McInerney. I'm still a little hesitant to see how the new ruck rules in terms of the putting your arm out sort of thing affects smaller bodied ruckman, and TDK, while tall, he is smaller bodied. So for that reason, I still want Pitto in, but I mean, I don't mind either way. I'm pretty confident by the end of the year that TDK is going to be our number 1 ruck. We definitely need another one on the list, though.
Well, There's probably a preview of and a review of the last 2 trade periods with Pom and Red Dog, and this year's coming trade period. There's a preview. We don't have to do that. The other thing that's been talked about a lot in the last 5 minutes before teams are released at 6:20, but no doubt you guys and girls are smart. You'll find it elsewhere prior. That's usually how this goes. Is Harry McKay, who evidently might be the worst footballer to ever play the game, according to the media. If you were an alien and had just come off your spaceship and read the papers, you would be under the illusion Harry McKay is the worst footballer to ever grace God's green earth. He has been coming under a lot of heat, hasn't he? I do want to settle this. Harry, as the media in this country baffle me, and I thought Pom media was shit. Then I came to Australia and I found a new realm. Like, honestly, like I every time I've ranted about an English press, I need to apologise sincerely. But it's really amazing that at the start of the year, they talked about this new player agreement, that they've got all this engagement with the players. They've got all this agreement from it because they want to hear from the players. Harry McKay comes out, does a wonderful interview talking about how hard he's worked in the off-season, using space-age technology to get better. He kicks 3 goals, 1, and suddenly he's crap, he's turgid, should play centre-half back. Carlton really needs to look at getting another forward, maybe a forwards coach in, maybe Carlton trade bait him.
Have we had bring back Fev yet? Normally we have bring back Fev to teach him how to kick. Isn't that normally part of the discussion?
Bring back Fev. Usually, but it's one of them things, isn't it? But I mean, Harry, for me, I felt like he was the most exciting thing in our preseason. If I was picking on one player, Harry did look like he was starting to take an onus of the game and control the game, we know. And I don't know if I'm on my own here, but maybe I'm naive or maybe I'm blind, but I just feel like Harry, that's the thing I'm looking for, Harry. When Harry puts in them shifts, I know it's going to come. And I know Harry's always going to be 50% at goal. Like, I'm happy with that because he generates so much. Though that's probably 50 goals a year. So are we worried about Harry, or are we going to make some noise when he runs out of the Gabba tomorrow?
No, I'm certainly not worried about him. I have him. I think on one of the 700 streams we did this week, I have him making the All-Australian squad. That was my hot Carlton take for the year. I don't know if he makes the team, but I have him making the squad. Last year, Pom, 7th in contested marks per game. The year before, 4th in contested marks per game. The year before, 1st in contested marks per game. Last year, 4th in total marks per game. 4th in total marks the year before as well. Total contested marks. Mate, this man is a really good footballer. I know he missed a lot of easy goals last year, which sucked. His conversion only needs to go up by a few percentile. I don't know what percentage points. I don't know what the right term is. It only needs to go up by a few percent. And he's going to be, all of a sudden, if he instead of kicking 29, kicks 40 goals, 20 or whatever the maths is to work that out, they're going to be talking about him being the best forward in the game. And all of a sudden that conversation is going to go back to what it was before Charlie was here when Harry won the Coleman. For me, everything he does up and around the ground is amazing. I love that work. If he brings in some forward ruck contests, some more forward ruck contests, hey, that's beautiful too. Like, seriously, he's unbelievable. And I think he's going to have a very good year. And it's only going to be marginal changes that amplify that improvement on last year. Like, come on. The people who are shit talking Harry McKay don't actually watch Harry McKay. They watch the clips of him missing that go for 12 seconds that are running around on YouTube and TikTok.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. Robbie Varley with the $15. Cheers, my brother. Hope you're doing very well. Well, we are about 60 seconds away from the teams. I'm excited. I am really excited about this one. It's good to have football back. I mean, I dare say it, chat. I've missed you, to be fair.
Oh, mate, the chat's great. We've missed them.
I'll still say that September, but I've missed
probably
you.
not. But we'll have weeded out the weak ones by then. I don't know if you saw that or if I missed it, but Robbie Varley's just dropped a donation, which is bloody beautiful.
Like, dog, before I asked you that question, I did say, cheers, Robbie, for the $15 donations. Hope you're well. Much love, my brother.
I'm just out of the corner of my eye trying to refresh Twitter to see the teams drop. So apologies.
This is it's a big game, and obviously, do you know what I mean? Blue Abroad is all about big games and big names. The teams have been dropped, but the AFL website has pooed itself. But
Yay.
I can tell you, Orazio Fantasia is 100% in the teams. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. How good is that? I love it when a plan comes together. I fixed it. Here you are, chat. Let's have a look-see. Can you see that? Here we are. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so your teams to play the Lions: Brodie Kent, Lewis of the young variety, Adam Sard, Zach Williams, Mitch McGovern, and Nick Newman.
How did we get Nick Newman before? Jeez.
Patrick Cripps and Matty Kennedy. Carlton have ruined that centre line synergy from last year and brought Matt Kennedy into that. Hewitt, Kerner, Owies, Fantasia, McKay, and Cunningham, with TDK, Adam Cherrett, and Doc being your followers. And on the old interchange, Jordan Boyd, Matty Cottrell, Jack Carroll, Oliver Hollands, and Lockie Fogarty, with an emergency being selected from Jackson Binns, Alex Chincotta, or Mark Pitonet. Any surprises, chat? Jackie C. in Jackie the business. C.
I think Heath Buck might have called him as the sub last night. So if that comes to fruition, we may need to promote that man. He might have psychic powers. Probably the biggest surprise for me there is, and I know it's just the starting positions in their meeting list, but Matt Kennedy getting named on a wing. Clearly, Vossi wants to stuff him into this team, which is great. I love Jordan Boyd's there with Nick Newman, Zach Williams, Adam Sard. That's a beautiful sort of seventh defender rotation, close to what I had last night. And then we've got some tackling pressure in Fogarty, Cottrell, and Hollands on the bench. That's kind of annoyed me, Pom. That's kind of annoyed me because every single game last year it was Akers, Cripps, Hollands, except for I think Hollands might have missed one match.
You know what? As I was reading it out, I totally forgot. The new AFL rules as well, chat, are 5 people are named on the interchange bench, and the sub comes from that. So we have to speculate. I'd imagine Jack Carroll's the sub, would we say? So. I'm trying to work out, because this is the first time. So usually by about 3 times, Carlton aren't very creative and will unlock the code. But logic would say it's Fogarty. Carlton have never done it logically, though. So I reckon the code is second to last is the thing, because it's weird that the rest are in alphabetical order. Holland suddenly skips in there. So I reckon that I've cracked the code already. I reckon it's Carroll. Carroll's son.
A couple other notes people picked up on. George Hewitt, half forward. I think that's just a rotation with Doherty, who's named on the ball. Like, Doherty's going to get named at half forward a lot this season. I wouldn't stress about that. People are talking about it. Pito on the emergency list. Bob, you said he wasn't fit, and I was hearing whispers that he's not going to play before our first bye. The whispers might be true, mate.
Fucking Carlton Football Club and whispers. Hey, tell you, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I like it, to be honest. I mean, the way I saw this game, don't risk anyone that's not 100% fit. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't want to sound defeated, but if Carlton lose tomorrow, who gives 2 iotas of a fuck? There is still 20-odd rounds to fix it. Do you know what I mean?
Agree.
I would hate for us to go in with 50% players. They miss 8, 9, 10 games, all because we were fighting for 4 points. Do you know what I mean? So it's an interesting one. I mean, obviously, they've got to take up a squad, isn't it, of 29 now in the AFL?
Something like that.
So that's 28 players and then 1 extra in case someone gets ill. So you'd imagine Pittenet's flown up for insurance of TDK, but I'd imagine with him not being named, that would maybe indicate he's not good to go. The club were quite firm at the end of the game as well. Hamill was quite firm. Sorry, Hansen, that it was still, he was still managing his minutes and trying to get back into full fitness. So probably a good idea. I like that team. I mean, someone in chat said it. That team looks stronger than I actually anticipated it to.
It does when you put it on paper, doesn't it? And I think we found that last night as well. It's like, oh, we're missing 7 blokes, which back in the day meant we were going to lose by 120 points. But now if we're missing 7 blokes, it's like, oh, we're still pretty good. Pom, I'll just quickly run through Brisbane's list just because we should. Starcevic, Payne, who played very well on Charlie last year, Leicester at fullback, Kadeen Coleman, who we probably need to give some attention to. He dominated in that prelim, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll never watch it again. Harris Andrews, Darcy Gardner, Fletcher Bailey, Berry in the centre line, Cameron, Hipwood, McCluggage, that's a pretty dangerous half-forward line, Rayner, Danaher, Zorko, full forward, Oscar McAdurty, Josh Dunkley, and Lockie Neal. Dunkley probably runs with Paddy Cripps on tomorrow. Lohman, Archie, McCarthy, Lyons, and Wilmot on the interchange. I don't know, probably Lyons as the sub. James Tunstall, Darcy Ford, Noah Answorth as an emergency. Slightly interesting, they've also named a ruckman on their emergency list.
I'd imagine, though, that's because of the AFL rules and the intricacies. It's just that backup in policy, isn't it? That insurance. Because I'd imagine now, with naming an extended bench, they're going to be a little bit more stricter than, when you just randomly bring someone in. Richmond were masters of that. Do you know, they just randomly, suddenly a ruck would appear out of the ether, like the Undertaker at WrestleMania or something. But, I mean, we've got a big game here. And, do you know what I mean? Everyone's writing us off. But, I mean, I look at that team, and you know what? The one that stands out to me is Carlton have named an aggressive team. They have brought in, they could have gone a bit defensive, but they've got a bit creative there. Like, I do like the fact Fogarty, Owies, Fantasia, Connors are all in the team, which is really suggesting to me we're not coming back. We're going forward. We're bringing it onto them. And like I keep saying, the pressure's all on Brisbane. If they lose this, there's the questions for them.
Yeah.
They will be the ones under question. The media has wrote us off. The bookies have wrote us off. They're the ones with all the pressure, and all we've got to do is ask the question. Ask the question for long enough, and eventually they won't have the answers. And I like the makeup of that side, and I'm looking forward to seeing Bam Bam and Owies because they're 2 players we haven't seen in pre-season. So let's get them out there. Let's get them out there, and let's take it to these fuckers.
I guess if you were going to say something about this side, Pom, with the exception of Sam Walsh, who isn't fast, but geez, he covers a lot of ground. This is a very fast-paced team, Pom. And I think that's because they know with our defensive stocks as they are right now, we're probably going to allow a score. So I think we're gearing up to kick a winning score. And I know this is how every game works, but this is like highest score wins stuff. This is going to be, I don't know, 100 points to 99 point type setup, I reckon. I don't think this is going to be a defensive game at all. I like that. There's a bit of risk in it, obviously, but I really like it. I'm excited to see. I think a key matchup is going to be Lewis Young. Presumably, he's going to be on Joe Danaher. I think that's going to be a key one. But then it's how the guys shape up and play around him, how Gov can cut off, how Zach Williams, who you observed last night, has been playing as a bit of an interceptor in training and that sort of stuff. So I think Lewis Young is going to be a key matchup for us, and it's how we set up around him.
Mate, I'm excited. I think Hewitt's going to be a big key to this as well because his pre-season, he was sexy. He was sexy in the pre-season. He was just a tackle machine, and you know what? If you can keep hold, mate, Neil Quiet, we're a big part of the way there. But chat, we always have the POM questions. So I am going to set you a task. We'll do it in stages because I go too fast and Let Dog likes to answer them in stages. So first question of the 3-part question. Question 1, most score involvements for a backman from the Blues.
Oh, geez, I just want to say, I want to answer without knowing the other questions, Zach Williams for all of these, but no, I won't. I think Nick Newman's still going to be a launching pad for us. So I'll say Nick Newman. I think that's a safe answer, but he's just bloody good. I think I think Zach Williams is going to garner a lot of attention just because he hasn't played in a while, but I think we're forgetting how bloody good Nick Newman is and the targets he can hit and the distance he can cover.
You know what? I'm going to back in a boy that's been getting a lot of hate, and we love him. Brodie Kemp. Brodie Kemp to be targeted by the Brisbane Lions and isolated, and him to come out of that second quarter with 5 score involvements. Brodie Kemp to give it back. Okay. Midfielder with the most tackles.
Oh, the most tackles. I'm assuming we're focusing on Carlton here. That's a tough one. I reckon Matt Kennedy's going to come in and make a statement. We haven't seen him in the preseason.
Ooh.
You know, he's probably of the group that's in the next one out when Sam Walsh comes back. I reckon he goes, "No, fuck this. This is my spot," and I think he's gonna nail it.
Mate, I like that call because I think there's a lot of players here playing for jobs. So yeah. Lewis Young can probably playing for when Wheater and Marchbank return to form. Kennedy, one of these midfielders leaves when Walsh is here. Kennedy's got to look at this and go, you know what? It's not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that. I'm going to go, though, with 11 tackles, George Hewitt.
Bang. Big Georgie Hewitt. God, we love George Hewitt, don't we?
Mate, George is everything I've ever wanted and more in a human being. Everything. Christian with Doc. I don't mind that, mate. I don't mind a bit of Doc. Fogg getting some love in chat. Fogg doesn't get enough love. He's pretty good. So
I just don't know
good.
that he's a midfielder. That would be my reasoning for not selecting him as an answer.
TDK.
Wow.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Okay, final one. Margin and your victor. He's like, I'm going to stiff me here. He's been so excited and then just hits me with. That being said, Brisbane.
That being said, Lions by 45. No. Mate, you know I can't tip the Lions on this show, so I'll tip Carlton by 1 in a thriller.
The thriller in Manila. Blues 9 points.
I like it.
9 points. Hey, look at this. Harry 5 goals. Blues by 13. I love it. Lions by 19. Jay, come on. Blues 10. Oh, Gianni. Mate, if Carlton win by 46, I'll do the Monday show naked.
Yeah, mate. If we win by 46 points, we are going to they'll pay out on the flag straight away.
Davey, good mate of the channel, 38. Come on. I need some positive energy, boys. Boys and girls. PI.
Ethan K lose by 65 to make up for the prelim.
Jason, very important. I don't change my tip because I changed my tip round 13 and started tipping against Carlton all the time. And I got battered in my tipping comp because I was always one down. So I am a man of structure and synergy, and I am not going to tip Carlton at all this year in a tipping comp. If they lose this one, I may readdress it and say that it's not me kiboshing them. But that's it. But chat, ladies and gentlemen, love you all to pieces. Like Dog, thank you very, very much. Got to give a shout out to Big Riley here. Hey, and Kane Lucas kicked 4, so remember that. Yeah,
he's going up for the game too, I think. Staraj.
He is. He's there. Anthony Joshua, 5th round knockout. Heard it here first. Chat, love you all to pieces. Leg Dog, thank you very much. You are the best. Me and Leg Dog will be live later on tonight with the first live preview on the Pommin Oz channel. So go and stay tuned for that. We're going to debate what time we're going to do it, and we're going to have a bit of a laugh. But it's only going to be like a 10, 15, 20-minute, but you don't want to miss it. Everyone, peace, love, light. See you tomorrow for the watch-along. Go Blues.
Up the baggers!